They cut her off by text. She calmly shut down the whole lie. My name is Naomi Carter. I'm 29 years old. And the night my father cut me off, he did it by text, from a house my money was still keeping alive. At 10, 40, și 7 pod. I was on shift at the freight dispatch office. Headset on. Screens glowing. Rerouting delayed trailers and fixing other people's messes for a living. My phone buzzed. Family group chat? One message from my father. Don't contact us. Don't come around. You're on your own now. No call. No explanation. No warning. Just a text slammed into the chat like he thought fatherhood came with an eject button. 3 seconds later, my mother reacted with a thumbs up. My sister added a heart. A heart? That was bold for someone whose tuition autopay was still connected to my checking account. I looked down at my phone. Electric. Internet. Phone plan. Truck insurance. Pharmacy refill. Grocery account. All of it tied to me. They were throwing me out of the family from a living room. My money kept warm. So I typed back one sentence. Great. I'll cancel the auto payments first thing tomorrow. And suddenly the panic showed up right on schedule. My mother sent a voice note so fast it nearly tripped over my message. You can't do that. Naomi, don't be nasty. Your father is upset. My sister wrote, Stop being dramatic. My father answered, Try it. And right there, something inside me went quiet. Not hurt. Not shaky. Finished. Because they still thought I needed their approval more than they needed my bank account. That night I got home after 3 a.m. Kicked off my work boots. Opened my laptop on my kitchen counter. And pulled up the spreadsheet I had been avoiding for months. I work overnight freight dispatch outside Kansas City. My whole job is systems. Deadlines. Route. And consequences. I'm good with numbers. Which, looking back, is probably why my family quietly turned me into one. At first, none of it looked abusive. It looked like helping. Dad hurt his back and needed a few months. Mom said the phone plan made more sense in my name because I got a better rate through work. My younger sister Brianna needed help with cosmetology school because she was so close. Then it became the water bill. Then the internet. Then groceries. Then truck insurance. Then pharmacy refills. Then property tax. Then some emergency that always arrived right after payday like clockwork, with emotional background music. I kept telling myself I was stabilizing the family. What I was actually doing was building a life support machine and plugging my own paycheck into it. So I went line by line. Month after month. My card. My overtime. My skipped weekends. My holiday shifts. My exhaustion. A 3:41 a.m. I totaled it. In 31 months, I had spent $68. 214. 17, keeping their lives from wobbling. I said the number out loud. Then I said it again. Because sometimes truth sounds fake until your own mouth confirms it. $68,000. Enough for a down payment. Enough to erase my car loan. Enough to build my future, instead of financing people who called me selfish if I replied 10 minutes late. Then I noticed something strange in the paperwork. A property tax reminder for the house wasn't addressed to my father. It referenced the Hayes family trust. Hayes. My mother's maiden name. My grandfather, Walter Hayes. And suddenly an old memory snapped into focus. A year earlier, my grandfather had asked me, almost casually, "Are they still telling people they bought that house from me?" I thought he was joking. He was not joking. By sunrise, I had printed every statement, highlighted every recurring payment, and made a second tab labeled Cancel First. Then I drove straight to my grandfather's farmhouse, with the truth clipped into a black binder on the passenger seat. Walter Hayes was 74. Sharp as barbed wire. And the only person in my family who never confused kindness with weakness. He took one look at my face and said, "Bring the papers in." I laid everything out. The text, the reactions, the voice notes, the autopays, the total. He listened, read every page, then walked into his old office and came back with a red file box labeled Carter House. Inside were trust documents, tax notices, unsigned agreements, and years of proof. The house had never left the Hayes family trust. My parents had been allowed to live there temporarily while they got back on their feet. They never bought it. They barely paid. And my father, the same man who had texted me that I was on my own, didn't even own the roof over his own head. I laughed once. Not because it was funny, because the whole lie finally had a shape. I had not been helping a struggling family. I had been subsidizing a performance. They got to play respectable homeowners. I got to be the invisible extension cord behind the wall. Grandpa tapped the total on my spreadsheet and said, "You've been underwriting his pride." That line hit harder than the text ever could. Because it was exact. Then he told me what to do. Don't argue. Don't beg. Don't go over there trying to be understood. People who profit from your silence will always call your truth cruel. Send facts. Not feelings. Dates. Amounts. Deadlines. Consequences. So before my next shift, I sat in my car outside dispatch, propped my phone on the steering wheel, opened the spreadsheet, and recorded a 5-minute video. No makeup. No tears. No performance. Just me in a reflective work vest looking like somebody who had finally run out of mercy for nonsense. I said, "Since Dad says I'm on my own now, this is what that means." Then I listed everything. Electric. Gas. Water. Trash. Phone plan. Truck insurance. Tuition. Farmacie. Groceries. Internet. I read it like a route report. Then I said the only sentence that mattered. Because I have been told not to contact you and not to come around. All support ends in that same spirit. Electric and gas will transfer or terminate on Friday. The phone plan transfer request has been submitted. Truck insurance will not renew. Tuition payments are canceled. Grocery accounts are closed. Pharmacy cards have been removed. And Grandpa Walter Hayes will contact you separately regarding the property. Then I sent the video to the group chat. Subject line: "Since I'm on my own now, And for 15 beautiful seconds, nothing happened. Then the phone detonated. Ungrateful brat. Call me before you do anything, rash. You can't send spreadsheets like this. You think because you make money you can humiliate me? Voice notes. Texts. Shouting. Crying. Panic. I ignored all of it. I wasn't interested in a family reunion. I was interested in shutting off every leak. Cancel auto-renew. Remove payment method. Freeze card. Change password. Revoke access. Confirmation email. Confirmation text. Confirmation screen. No screaming. No scene. Just a system finally refusing bad input. By that afternoon, the consequences started barking. Dad's truck insurance lapsed. Brianna got locked out of her school portal after a missed payment posted. Mom suddenly couldn't use the pharmacy account. And still, I did not answer. Instead, during lunch, I did something I hadn't let myself do in 2 years. I used my own money for my own future. I paid the application fee on a 1-bedroom apartment closer to work. I enrolled in the supervisor certification program my company had been begging me to take. I moved part of my direct deposit into a savings account and named it Peace. That was the moment I knew this wasn't revenge. This was rescue. A few days later, it got uglier. Random people messaged me, asking about items they had bought from resale listings. My mother's cancer bracelet I had given her years ago. My old Polaroid camera. My tool bag. They weren't just missing my money. They were selling my memories. Then a cousin sent screenshots from a private family chat I didn't even know existed. In it, they were planning to say I was unstable, that I was drinking, that work had made me spiral, that if they framed it as family loyalty, I would look heartless. That was the final crack. So I sent one email to the relatives who mattered. I attached my father's original text, the first page of the ledger, the bracelet photo, the screenshots. Then I wrote one paragraph. You are free to help them if you choose. I only ask that you do it with the truth. That was all. No essay. No begging. No performance. And here's the funny thing about documented truth. It doesn't need to chase anybody. It just stands there while lies pull a hamstring trying to outrun it. My grandfather handled the property side. Legal notice. Meeting date. Repayment option. 30 days to get out instead of 10. If they signed and stopped lying. At the meeting, my father tried anger first. Then pity. Then pride. Same old costume changes. Weaker actor. But for the first time in my life, my boundaries had witnesses, documents, and a deadline. So they signed, all 3 of them. Not because they respected me, because consequences had finally entered the room and refused to leave. 30 days later, the house was emptied. My parents moved. My sister finished school the hard way. My mother mailed the first repayment money order months later. And me? I took the promotion I had delayed for 18 months because I was too busy being everybody's emergency fund. I moved closer to work. Bought my own couch. Rebuilt my savings. Started sleeping through the night. No voice notes. No fake emergencies. No guilt dressed up as family duty. People ask what changed everything overnight. It was one decision. I stopped paying for disrespect. That was it. Because once I did, every lie in that family had to survive on its own power, and most of them couldn't. So here's what I know now. Not everyone who shares your blood deserves unlimited access to your sacrifice. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let people feel the consequences you've been protecting them from. The night my father texted that I was on my own, he thought he was punishing me. What he actually did was release me. And honestly, that house got a lot louder when my money stopped humming through the walls.